Have you ever felt like you don't quite fit in? Like there's this invisible wall between you and the rest of the world? Maybe people avoid you, distance themselves, or treat you differently, and you can't seem to figure out why. It's not because you've done something wrong. It's not because you're unworthy. In fact, it's the opposite. What if I told you that the reason people avoid you has everything to do with what makes you extraordinary? You're not just anyone, you're one of the chosen ones, and that can be both a blessing and a burden. Let's start with this question. Have you ever noticed that people are drawn to you but at the same time seem intimidated by your presence? It's like they sense something in you that they don't understand, something they can't quite put into words. That's because chosen ones carry an energy that is unique, rare, and often misunderstood. You might not even be fully aware of it yourself, but others can feel it. They see something in you, something powerful, something significant, and that can scare people.
Click subscribe to this channel to get more profound spiritual lessons.
You see, being a chosen one is not about being superior or better than anyone else. It's about carrying a purpose, a light, and a vibration that others can sense, even if they don't consciously know why. Think about it. When you walk into a room, people notice. Even if no one says anything, there is a shift in the energy, an unspoken awareness. But here's the thing. Not everyone can handle that kind of energy. It's intense, it's confronting, and for some people, it's too much. Why? Because your energy reflects back to them the things they are not ready to face within themselves. You represent growth, change, and a higher level of consciousness. And for people who are stuck in their comfort zones, who are not ready to evolve, that can feel threatening. It's like holding up a mirror to their fears, insecurities, and limitations. And instead of embracing that reflection, many people choose to turn away. But here's the paradox. While some people avoid you because of your energy, others are magnetically attracted to it. They see you as a source of inspiration, a guide, or even a healer. They might not even know why they're drawn to you, but they feel it on a soul level. And this dynamic of being both avoided and sought after can be confusing, even painful. It can make you question yourself. You might wonder, what's wrong with me? Why can't I connect with people the way others do? I want you to stop right there, because the truth is, there's nothing wrong with you. In fact, your ability to stand out, to make people feel something, is exactly what sets you apart as a chosen one. Let's go deeper. Have you ever felt like you don't belong? Like no matter where you go, you're always on the outside looking in? That's because chosen ones are not meant to fit in. You're here to break the mold, to challenge the status quo, and to pave a new path. But that kind of role can be isolating. It's not easy to walk a path that few others understand. It can feel lonely, and at times, you might wish you could just be normal. But here's the thing. Normal is overrated. Normal doesn't change the world. And deep down, you know you're here for something far greater than normal. Now let me ask you this. Are you willing to embrace the discomfort that comes with being different? Are you willing to accept the fact that not everyone will understand you, and that's okay? Because being a chosen one requires a level of courage and self-awareness that not everyone is ready for. It means standing strong in your truth, even when it feels like the world is against you. It means trusting that your uniqueness is not a flaw, but a gift. But let's be real, this isn't easy. It's not easy to carry the weight of your purpose, especially when people misunderstand you. It's not easy to shine your light when it feels like the world wants you to dim it. And it's not easy to keep going when you feel like you're walking this path alone. But here's the thing, you're not alone. There are others out there like you, other chosen ones who are also navigating this journey. And while the path may be challenging, it's also incredibly rewarding. Because when you step into your purpose, when you fully embrace who you are, you have the power to transform not only your own life, but also the lives of those around you. So, how do you navigate this journey as a chosen one? How do you deal with the loneliness, the misunderstandings, and the fear of rejection? The first step is to shift your perspective. Instead of seeing yourself as someone who doesn't belong, start seeing yourself as someone who is here to create a new way of being. Instead of trying to fit in, focus on standing out. And instead of seeking validation from others, find it within yourself. This is where self-love comes in, because as a chosen one, your relationship with yourself is the foundation for everything else. When you love and accept yourself fully, you become unstoppable. You stop worrying about what others think of you, you stop seeking approval, and you start living in alignment with your true purpose. But self-love is not just about affirmations and positive thinking. It's about doing the inner work. It's about facing your fears, healing your wounds, and letting go of the beliefs that no longer serve you. It's about becoming the highest version of yourself, not for anyone else, but for you. And when you do this, something magical happens. You start to attract the right people, the right opportunities, and the right experiences into your life. You start to see that the very things that made you feel different are the things that make you extraordinary. Now, let me ask you another question. What would your life look like if you fully embraced who you are? If you stopped hiding your light and started shining it unapologetically? Imagine the impact you could have, the lives you could touch, the change you could create. Because that's what being a chosen one is all about. It's about using your gifts, your energy, and your purpose to make a difference in the world. But remember, this journey is not about perfection. It's about progress. It's about showing up every day, even when it's hard. It's about staying true to yourself, even when others don't understand. And it's about trusting that everything you're going through is preparing you for something greater. So the next time you feel like people are avoiding you, remember this. It's not about you, it's about them. It's about what your energy triggers in them. And instead of taking it personally, see it as a sign of your power, because only those who are truly ready will be able to stand in your light. And those who aren't, they're not your people. And that's okay. Let this sink in for a moment. You are here for a reason. You are here to make a difference. And while the path may not always be easy, it is always worth it. So keep going, keep shining, and remember, the world needs your light. Let me ask you something. How many times have you felt like no one truly sees you? Like, no matter how much you try to explain yourself, people just don't get it. This is one of the deepest pains of being a chosen one, the pain of being misunderstood. It's not just about being different, it's about living in a way that others can't comprehend. And because they can't understand you, they often judge you, dismiss you, or distance themselves from you. Why does this happen? It happens because the path of a chosen one is not a path of the familiar. It's a path of the unknown, the extraordinary, the unconventional. And most people are conditioned to see the world through the lens of what is normal. They crave predictability, comfort, and sameness. But your very existence challenges that. You represent something different, something that doesn't fit neatly into their boxes. And what do people do when they encounter something they don't understand? They fear it, they reject it, they avoid it. This is the paradox of being a chosen one. You are here to bring light, but your light can feel blinding to those who are still living in the shadows. You are here to bring truth, but your truth can feel threatening to those who are not ready to hear it. And so you find yourself walking alone, not because you are unworthy of connection, but because your journey requires a level of understanding and awareness that not everyone has reached. But let's be honest, walking alone is not easy. It can feel isolating, even heartbreaking, to realize that the people you thought would support you, the people you love the most, don't understand your path. You might find yourself questioning, why me? Why do I have to carry this burden? Why can't I just be like everyone else? These are valid questions. They come from a place of deep longing, a longing to be seen, to be understood, to be accepted. But here's the truth. The very fact that you walk alone is evidence of your strength. Think about it. How many people have the courage to break away from the crowd? How many people are willing to walk a path that no one else can see? It takes an extraordinary amount of bravery to choose your truth over the approval of others. And that's exactly what you're doing, even if it doesn't always feel that way. Let me ask you something else. When was the last time you truly felt at home, with yourself, with others, or in the world? For many chosen ones, this sense of home feels elusive. You might feel like you're constantly searching for a place where you belong, a place where you can finally exhale and just be. But what if I told you that home is not a place outside of you? What if I told you that home is something you carry within yourself? This is one of the most profound lessons for chosen ones. The moment you stop looking for validation, acceptance, or understanding from the outside world and start finding it within yourself, everything changes. You realize that you don't need others to understand you in order to fulfill your purpose. You don't need their approval to live your truth, and you certainly don't need their acceptance to feel worthy. But let's dig deeper. Why does being misunderstood hurt so much? It hurts because as humans, we are hardwired for connection. We want to feel like we belong, like we are part of something greater than ourselves. And when that connection feels out of reach, it can trigger feelings of loneliness, rejection, and even self-doubt. But here's the thing. Connection doesn't have to come from the masses. It doesn't have to come from people who don't understand you. True connection comes from those rare, soul-level relationships where you are seen and loved for exactly who you are. So instead of trying to make everyone understand you, focus on finding your soul tribe. These are the people who resonate with your energy, your vision, and your purpose. They might be few in number, but the depth of connection you'll share with them will make up for the lack of quantity. And until you find them, let your connection with yourself be enough. Because the more you love and accept yourself, the more likely you are to accept people who do the same. Now, let me ask you this. What would happen if you stopped trying to explain yourself to those who are not ready to understand? What if you simply allowed yourself to be misunderstood? Imagine how much energy you would save. Imagine how much freedom you would feel. Because the truth is, not everyone needs to understand you. Not everyone needs to walk your path with you. Some people are meant to observe from a distance, while others are meant to walk beside you. And the ones who are meant to stay in your life will never need you to explain or justify your existence. They will see you, they will feel you, and they will honor your journey without question. Here's a final thought. Being misunderstood is not a sign of failure. It's a sign of your uniqueness. It's a reminder that you are not here to blend in. You are here to stand out. And while standing out can feel lonely at times, it's also what makes your journey so powerful. Because every step you take, every truth you embody, every light you shine, it all adds up to something far greater than you can imagine. So, embrace the solitude, embrace the misunderstanding, and trust that your path, no matter how lonely it feels, is leading you exactly where you're meant to be. Have you ever noticed how your mere presence can shift the energy in a room? Maybe people suddenly become quiet, or perhaps they act differently around you, more guarded, more defensive, or even more drawn to you but unsure why. This is not a coincidence. It's the weight of your energy, the unspoken force that surrounds you as a chosen one. It's not something you can see, but it's something others can feel deeply. And it's one of the main reasons people may avoid you, not because of something you've done, but because of what your energy represents. You see, chosen ones carry a frequency that is higher, more intense, and often more pure than the average person. You've likely gone through hardships, soul-level transformations, and deep awakenings that have stripped away illusions and left you with a raw, authentic essence. That essence is your energy, and it can be incredibly powerful. But here's the thing, most people are not equipped to handle that kind of energy. They're used to operating in a world where masks, superficiality, and comfort zones are the norm. So when they come into contact with someone like you, someone whose energy demands truth, growth, and authenticity, it can feel overwhelming. Let me ask you this. Have you ever had someone lash out at you for no apparent reason? Or maybe they suddenly stopped talking to you, leaving you wondering what you did wrong. This is one of the ways people react to the weight of your energy. It's not about you personally. It's about what your energy triggers in them. Your presence acts as a mirror, reflecting back to them the parts of themselves they may not be ready to face, their fears, their insecurities, their unhealed wounds. And instead of taking responsibility for what they feel, they project it onto you. It's easier for them to blame you, avoid you, or misunderstand you than it is for them to look inward and do the work. But don't let this make you feel guilty or ashamed. Your energy is not something to apologize for, it's something to honor. The fact that your presence challenges others is a testament to the light you carry. You were not put on this earth to make others comfortable. You were put here to awaken, inspire, and yes, sometimes even disrupt. Because true growth doesn't happen in comfort, it happens in discomfort. Watson, and your energy has a way of shaking people out of their comfort zones, whether they're ready for it or not. Let's take this a step further. Have you ever noticed that some people are drawn to you like a moth to a flame? They may come to you for advice, for healing, or simply because they feel better when they're around you. This is the other side of the coin. While your energy may challenge some people, it also uplifts others. It's a source of light, of clarity, of hope. And those who are ready for that kind of energy will be magnetized to you. They may not even know why they feel so drawn to you, but on a soul level, they recognize your light. They see in you something they aspire to, something they're working toward within themselves. But here's where it gets tricky. Not everyone who is drawn to your energy knows how to respect it. Some people will try to take from you without giving anything in return. They'll see you as a source of strength, but instead of using that strength to empower themselves, they'll try to latch onto you, draining your energy in the process. This is why boundaries are so important for chosen ones. You have to protect your energy, not just from those who avoid you, but also from those who try to take advantage of it. Let me ask you something else. Do you ever feel exhausted after being around certain people, even if they didn't do anything overtly negative? That's your intuition picking up on energy imbalances. As a chosen one, you are highly sensitive to energy, and that sensitivity is both a gift and a responsibility. It allows you to sense what others are feeling, even when they don't say it. But it also means you can absorb their energy if you're not careful. This is why self-care is not just a luxury for you, it's a necessity. Taking time to recharge, to ground yourself, and to clear your energy is essential if you want to continue walking your path without burning out. So how do you navigate the weight of your energy in a world that doesn't always understand it? First, you have to accept that not everyone will be able to handle your presence, and that's okay. It's not your job to shrink yourself to make others comfortable. At the same time, you have to recognize the importance of discernment. Not everyone who is drawn to your light deserves access to it. And not everyone who is challenged by your energy is your enemy. Some are simply not ready for what you represent, and that's okay too. Finally, you have to honor your energy. Treat it as the sacred force that it is. Protect it, nurture it, and use it wisely. Because your energy is not just about you, it's about the impact you're here to make. It's about the lives you're here to touch, the truths you're here to reveal, and the light you're here to shine. And while that may feel like a heavy responsibility at times, it's also one of the greatest gifts you could ever receive. Let's pause for a moment and ask the question that every chosen one eventually faces. How do you fully step into your role in a world that often doesn't see you, doesn't understand you, and at times even resists you? How do you thrive when the very essence of who you are feels out of place in the spaces you inhabit? These are not easy questions, but answering them is essential to embracing your calling and living a life of purpose. First, let's acknowledge something important. Being a chosen one doesn't mean your path will be smooth or easy. In fact, it's often the opposite. The very nature of your role means you'll face challenges that others might not understand. You'll be asked to grow in ways that stretch you, to let go of things you once thought you needed, and to rise above situations that might break someone else. But here's the truth. These challenges are not punishments. They're part of your preparation. Every obstacle, every rejection, every moment of loneliness is shaping you into the person you are meant to be. It's refining your strength, your clarity, and your ability to fulfill your purpose. So, how do you thrive in this role? The first step is to stop fighting who you are. So many chosen ones spend years, even decades, trying to fit into a world that was never designed to accommodate their energy. You might have tried to dim your light to make others more comfortable. You might have tried to silence your voice to avoid being misunderstood. You might have even convinced yourself that you're too much or not enough, because that's how others made you feel. But here's the truth. You are not too much. You are not too intense, too sensitive, too different. You are exactly what you are meant to be. And the moment you stop trying to be anything else, you free yourself to step into your full power. Think about this. What would happen if you stopped apologizing for who you are? If you stopped explaining yourself to people who don't want to understand? If you stopped shrinking to fit into spaces that weren't meant for you? Imagine how much energy you would reclaim. Imagine how much freedom you would feel. Because here's the reality. You don't need to be understood by everyone. You don't need to be accepted by the world. You only need to accept yourself fully and unapologetically. That's where your power lies. But self-acceptance is just the beginning. Thriving as a chosen one also requires you to cultivate resilience. The world may not always be kind to those who challenge its norms, but that doesn't mean you have to harden yourself to survive. True resilience is not about building walls around your heart. It's about staying open, even in the face of adversity. It's about allowing yourself to feel the pain, the joy, the uncertainty, and the hope, without letting any of it define you. It's about trusting that no matter what happens, you have the strength to rise again and again. Let me ask you this. When was the last time you truly trusted yourself? Trusted your intuition, your inner knowing, your ability to navigate the unknown? As a chosen one, your intuition is one of your greatest gifts. It's your compass, guiding you toward your purpose and away from what no longer serves you. But trusting your intuition requires you to let go of the need for external validation. It means making decisions that might not make sense to others, but feel right to you. It means following the path that calls to your soul, even if it's not the path others would choose for you. And here's the thing. When you start trusting yourself, something amazing happens. You begin to align with your purpose. You start attracting the right people, the right opportunities, and the right experiences into your life. You stop chasing what isn't meant for you and start receiving what is. This is what it means to thrive, not to flow, but to flow. with the energy of your purpose. But thriving as a chosen one isn't just about what you do for yourself, it's also about what you do for others. You were given your gifts, your light and your energy for a reason, and while it's important to protect and nurture those gifts, it's equally important to share them. This doesn't mean you have to save the world or sacrifice yourself for others. It simply means using your energy in a way that uplifts, inspires, and empowers those who are ready to receive it. Let me ask you one final question. What impact do you want to leave on the world? Not in a grand, ego-driven way, but in the quiet, profound way that only you can. How do you want to make people feel? What truths do you want to share? What light do you want to shine? When you start living with these questions in mind, you begin to recognize that your role as a chosen one is not a burden. It's a privilege. It's an opportunity to create something beautiful, something meaningful, something that lasts. So, embrace your role fully, own your energy unapologetically, trust your path, even when it feels uncertain. And know that while the world may not always see you, your light is making a difference, even in ways you may never fully understand. You are here for a reason. You are here to thrive, and the world needs exactly what only you can offer. Keep shining, keep going. The best is yet to come.